Hello, this is Philosophy 67, political philosophy, and well, you have probably seen the revised emergency syllabus that I sent you in an email, and you'll find it also under course information on Blackboard. And what you had to do, this is actually today a review of part one of the course. Okay, so it's the first 4 weeks. Okay, we are at the end of that. And remember that the title of this part of the class was Sovereign Power and Dialectical Subversions. Okay, now the revision affects has to do with your assignments, right? I mean, the three papers are weighed again in the grim light of the pandemic that is affecting many people, and um, and so what you had to do is write a journal entry weekly. Okay, you will find that both in the syllabus and on Blackboard. You go to journal and then you write your entry. If you haven't done so yet, even for the previous weeks, you can still do it. Okay, so in any case, this is just to see where we are. We started, and actually we had the first two classes in a face-to-face situation. We met at Kingsborough. We saw week one. We had an introduction to philosophy and political philosophy. We started reading some central chapters from Thomas Hobbes' Leviathan, especially the chapters dealing with particularly the formulation of uh, the theory of sovereignty, and I called attention to some important, very important passages, especially around chapter 13 of part one of Leviathan, and then we moved into, and we were still in a face-to-face situation with Carl Schmitt, the concept of the political theology. And so, for each one of these philosophers, right thinkers, you have already a suggestion for a journal entry. If you choose to write about something different from the text, right, a different passage or a different aspect, then you can do so as well. All right. So, for example, in week two, right, one of the questions precisely was for the journal entry uh, was whether you agree with Smith's definition of the political as the friend and enemy relation, to explain what you know your view is about this, or also to elaborate on the statement by Carl Smith in political theology, the opening statement at the outset of the book. Sovereign is he who decides on the exception. Very important, and especially today, in light of what's going on with the real situation of emergency and exception created by the coronavirus, right? So then this statement by Smith can be, looked at and problematized in many ways. Is it really the sovereign who decides on the exception, or the emergency, or is there also the possibility of a real emergency arising by itself? Okay, so in any case, then we saw the subversions of this sovereignty paradigm. Remember, sovereignty, supreme power, and with Hegel's master and slave dialectic. Okay, we saw how things can be turned upside down, and this is also, what ultimately, if we think about, upheaval, turmoil, and revolutions, this is the way we can even understand that, right? I mean, we saw the master and slave dialectic in Hegel, but think about, historical events, revolutionary events from the French Revolution, right, to the Haitian Revolution about the same time, and the two are connected, of course, right? So, and then we got into Marx, and we saw especially sections from passages from the section from the economic and philosophical manuscripts of 1844 that you find on. Remember, all the material is under course content, right? There you will find also the videos, right? So that I make. And we saw some passages from estranged labor or alienated labor, right? And also the other section, private property and communism, speaking about this idea of the body, right? The emancipation of the senses, okay? And so that's what you had to write about. I also read at the end of uh, my YouTube video last time, the thesis on Feuerbach by Marx, right? That you were supposed to read anyway. It's in the syllabus, the thesis on Feuerbach, thesis 11, right? The philosophers have interpreted the world in many ways. The point, however, is to change it, okay? So, in any case, do again write your journal entry. This is very important. Remember, if you haven't done it so yet, do it now, even for the past weeks. Next week, we'll start the new section, part of the class, part 2 from week 5 to week 8. The title of that, just for you to know where we are. Again, I look at the syllabus, the way it is. Basically, the content has remained the same. What you had to do in terms of reading is the same, but the writing assignments have changed. Okay, and there is also a note that I put on. At the outset of the syllabus, explaining why, of course, I mean the COVID-19 emergency, how this justifies the changes. Okay, so in any case, the next part of the class is called capture and lines of flight, right? Then semicolon, the prison and the camp. Okay, and we'll speak about various important problems, issues, right? Week 5, next week we'll speak about the question of feminism, class and gender, women, so-called women's work, and then we'll move into the question of colonialism and decolonization, the question of slavery and the prison, and then the question also of biopolitics. I will speak about that later, and the camp. Okay, all right. So make sure that you do write your journal entries. This is absolutely important, and then I will again upload a new video soon in the next few days for week 5. Okay, all right. Thank you. Bye.